what the fuck? This shit slaps.
Is it doing
Fuck
our
made
intro?
this beat.
Okay, cool. Where's the lighting?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to our show.
Hey, yo, that jacket is tight, son. Run that shit.
All right, check this out. Tonight on the smoke break, is your game Trump tight? The cringiness of hearing 90s hip hop and his praise of Donald J. Trump. Let's discuss it, because what brought this up is I was recently going through all of the albums that came out when I was a kid, and one of them happens to be Cal 2000.
Yo, no.
The Method Man's sophomore album. And on it is several skits. There's Ed Lover and there's a couple others basically begging Method Man to come out with another solo album. And one of these skits was Donald Trump leaving a voicemail on Method Man's answer machine, saying everybody's waiting for the album. How much money was paid just to have Donald Trump mention Method Man? Did Donald Trump even know who Method Man was at the time?
I think Method Man enjoyed being, not Method Man. I think Donald Trump enjoyed being such a part of pop culture. He probably paid to have his name in the album.
Just like how he paid to make sure that his face is prominently featured in Home Alone 2 Lost from New York. And if you notice, he even doubles down and looks back at the camera.
Can we talk about the fact that when Congress approved the stimulus checks, he literally held up production of the stimulus checks because he wanted his name on the checks. This man loves to have his name on shit.
Well, him and Grimace set out to take over the world, but now Grimace's human skin is malfunctioning.
Blitz McConnell.
Yep, I'm talking about Max Headroom's grandfather. Yes, I'm talking about the cab driver from Total Recall. Yes, I'm talking about the hologram from Back to the Future 2. Yes, I'm talking about every single animatronics in every single Chuck E. Cheese ever. I'm talking about. Are we past the 30-second mark?
Listen, all I know is that if I got into a roasting competition with you, like, I think I'm gonna just have to, like, with you.
Who saw the extended version of Terminator 2 when the T-1000 kept glitching and fucking up his feet and whatnot? Matter of fact, I do you one better. We're witnessing what happens if you implement Ed 209 into real life.
Right? This is elder abuse at this point. It's like they say that there's no jobs out there, and it's because dinosaurs like Mitch McConnell refuse to retire. I need you to understand that the man was elected into office when we were born.
It's not like Supreme Court judge where you get to have it forever. And even with that said, our RGB was the truth. Even at 90 something, still lifting weights, still extremely sharp. And we got
Amy Coney Barrett in her place. Trump lost, God. And then why did Trump lose? He lost because he installed Amy Coney Barrett. And then what did conservatives do? They shot back with culture wars. It's like, oh, well, you guys organized because, you know that Roe versus Wade is about to get overturned. And what happens if it gets overturned?
And now we have the most famous mug shot of all time since Prison Bay.
This sets very dangerous precedent. I'm
No pun intended. Dangerous president.
Yeah, can we talk about the fact that I hope dude takes care of himself, because I'm really concerned that we're gonna have to go through a whole trial. The entire world's gonna watch it. This is like the end of fucking democracy as we know it, because there's no way you can tell me, like, literally now we know how fragile the American justice system and legal system and all the executive whatever's, like, now we know the shit's weak, right? Anyone can be president. You just got to be born here. You know how many Russian women are going to be flying over here to have their babies now?
You know, people saying that.
It's okay.
I mean, Tookie Williams aside, he did do a decent job in California.
Yeah, but
I still ain't forgive you for Tookie Williams. You're one of my favorite 80s acting stars. Fuck you, Arnold.
Well, let's talk about the fact that it's not just Tookie Williams. Who else? Well, no, I mean, you know who I used to support? Tulsi Gabbard, right? Now she became a right-wing nut job after losing an election. I mean, was she not always a little right-wing anyways, because she was a little homophobic? Well, not a little. I found that out afterwards, and I'm like,
I used to think about how Ice Cube was one of the smartest brothers in the West Coast scene, and now look at that, brother.
Money separates them from us.
And it's funny how everyone ragged on Fran Drescher back in the 90s, and now she's leading the charge on behalf of writers everywhere.
You don't understand the writer's strike or why actors are striking with them. Really need to look into it. These people, Netflix, all these television companies, are making millions of dollars, right? And
the actors are behind the strike. They support it 100% because people think that actors are all about money. No, the studios are all about money. In order for an actor to accept a movie role, it ain't about how much Pepsi's paying me or how many likes I can get on TikTok or how much merch I can sell. What's an actor's first thing on their mind? Let me see the script before they say yes to anything. Is always.
But they also need to pay their bills. They deserve to, be able to pay a mortgage. The thing is, though, we're not talking about a whole bunch of, rich actors. So you have people getting royalty checks that, on like #1 Netflix series, and they're getting like $4 a commission check.
Not to mention the actors that actually write movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
Quinta, Keanu, who else?
When you see some of their royalty checks, you just want to sit there and it's like, wow. Could not be me. Quinta Brunson. She's come so far from.
It went from a viral joke video to BuzzFeed, and now she's an Emmy winner.
Yeah.
And she was actually one of my favorites on BuzzFeed.
It was.
It was her and.
Is it the guy with the glasses?
No, the gay Asian dude.
Okay, so God, who's the one who I think is Dominican? He's so fucking fun.
It's a shame, but Quinta is the only name I remember on BuzzFeed.
Yeah, like if I see their names,
If I see the old videos, I'm like, oh, I remember her. Oh, I remember him. The Try Guys, the Try Girls. That was cool shit. But now Quinta is.
I miss the BuzzFeed days.
Me too.
Dorothy.
But black women are winning.
They are. No, I don't miss just Quinta's BuzzFeed days. I mean, I miss BuzzFeed overall.
I just thought of that. Black women are winning.
Yeah, they are.
Did you see
Simone Biles?
Did you see the finals with Sha'Carri Richardson winning?
Woo!
And then being embraced by her Jamaican opponent, and all of those black women jumping in the air at the same time because of a job well done?
Let's talk about the fact that the news wouldn't shut the fuck up about, when she got caught a little bit of weed in her system. They didn't throw a fit when the little Russian girl got to compete with actual hormone enhancers, but Sha'Carri Richardson with a little bit of weed. he can't compete, right?
Or how about the girlfriend of a politician being able to run on behalf of Somalia despite no training or experience?
And you talk about the fat chick.
We are body inclusive here.
I'm just gonna say I don't give a fuck how big my gut is.
Fat
chick.
We're gonna say fat woman, not fat chick.
That was a fat chick. How the fuck are you fat from Somalia? And then on top of being fat from Somalia, you had to slide into this full tracksuit using bacon grease. And then you got the nerve to sit there and pretend that you're running for your country's honor. If you don't get the fuck out of
wearing full hijabi, by the way.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: hijab's cool. I mean, they got them.
But she skipped across the finish line and dead last, more than 10 seconds behind the next opponent. She probably has the record for the world slow, and this happened in China. It's on the world stage. She just embarrassed Somalia in front of China, and now heads are rolling in Somalia. People got fired in Somalia. Like, how dare you embarrass us?
Why did
we just got a somewhat functioning government now? And you gonna pull this shit?
Why did they let? I'm sorry. Now, the thing is, though, that if this was like American fat or any, like, okay, so they got like chunky kids over in China, right? We got our chunky, but if you're Somalia of all places, if you're overweight, you are definitely not fucking exercising. The poor here in America are obese. If you're not the poor in Somalia.
If you're overweight in a country like Somalia, you're definitely rich. You're definitely pampered. You know, say more.
You're not running anywhere. That was probably the first time this bitch ran in her life since she was 5.
Now, I don't know how true this is, but I've heard over and over that certain African cultures, plumpness is a sign of great wealth.
In most countries, that's a sign of great wealth.
In most countries, the biggest leaders or the chiefs are usually fat.
I mean, let's talk about let's talk about fellow 84 baby Kim Jong-un. Right after we sit there and dissect the fact that how did this bitch get they couldn't find nobody else?
But you know what?
Who was she related to and who was she sleeping with?
You talking about a Somalian runner? That was the girlfriend of the head of Somali athletics or some shit. Or some general, I don't know. Somebody within the athletic commission of Somalia, she was dating. And all she said was, I want to try running.
For the first time ever?
That's the equivalent of you're 7 years old. You say, I want a pony. And instead of a stuffed animal or a wooden horse or rocking horse or something,
they give you the fucking pony.
No. They don't even give you the fucking pony. You're in an equestrian contest a week after getting your own stable in your backyard.
Yeah.
She was looking at the other runners on how to position herself in the starting position.
She never ran in her life, yo.
I never heard a gunshot in her life either. She took off so damn slow. And the way she was running, it was like somebody's out for a morning jog after day 4 of a keto diet, trying to lose weight for summer, and they started with a starting weight of 320 pounds.
It's
Now, I'm not fat shaming anybody. No, I'm not.
The fuck do you mean we're not fat shaming?
I'm not.
This motherfucker was sitting there. So basically,
have you seen the amazing shit that Heavy D could do on stage and still have the breath to rap?
But
okay, we're not gonna talk about Lizzo.
Okay, no, I'm just saying there's a lot of overweight people that do fantastic shit in America. We just generally tend to be heavier. The poorest people here in our country tend to have problems with obesity.
What is this? Sam Hung?
Yeah, no. So all I'm saying is
Sammy Hung.
that people in the hood who weigh like 300 pounds, 400 pounds, and can run, we get it. Okay, Americans who sit there and run around, we get it. If that was a fat American that won the race, I would be shocked, but I wouldn't be as shocked.
At the same time, Tekken has a character named Bob who got so good at martial arts that he purposely let himself get fat to challenge himself. And he's one of the most agile characters in there, and he's the only one pleasantly plump. He's bigger than the sumo wrestler. But he moves like he.
So for Street Fighter.
Okay, now picture E Honda, but with the speed of Vega. That's Bob.
We're the fucking African culture. They got sumo or fat people running from the cops because fat people running from the cops happens here in America. We tend to be we tend to be Olympians when it comes to our police.
You gotta check Nollywood. There's some funny ass movies of exactly that scenario. Have you heard the soundbite before? Why are you running? Why are you running? That scene in that movie is not as funny as the meme itself.
The meme is hilarious.
Why are you running? Why are you running? No pun intended, but hey, Somali chick.
Running away.
We'll
be right back after this commercial break.
Hey, Somali runner. Why are you running? Why are you running?
Practicing and living in community means that we're responsible to ourselves and others. It means that we're committed to engaging humbly and bravely with others who we may not agree with, but who share a similar worldview. Tensions and conflicts are gifts that allow us to grow together. Join our peaceful revolution.
Peace. We're back.
Now, just to elaborate. So he doesn't fat shame. I do. I don't care if I'm fat or not. I don't care if I weigh 20 pounds more than you. If you fat and I don't like you, I'm a fat shame.
What if you're skinny and you're not? What if you're skinny and you don't like them?
Then I'm a fat shame.
You skinny. You better eat a sandwich, goddammit. I bet you if you swallow a Cheerio, I can see the shape of it. You're so damn skinny.
Yeah, hula hooping out here with a fucking Fruit Loop. Got the nerve to sit there and get on my nerves. Fuck, look at you. Sitting there doing, like, you the only motherfucker I met that can sit there and do push-ups underneath a fucking doorway. Like, leave me the fuck alone, yo.
You're the only one I know out here shaped like a baseball bat. Yeah, we can skinny shame too. Yeah. Let's do some reverse stereotyping.
You're so poor. I went into your house and dropped a cigarette. Roaches came out and said, "Clap your hands, stamp your feet, praise the Lord, we got heat."
It's not as funny to rank on the rich, but it is kind of funny.
Oh, wait. How about this? Your mama's so nasty. Your dad puts ice in her drawers to keep crabs fresh. You're so ugly, the doctor slapped your mom for having you. Your mom is so ugly. Your father needed a permit to breed with her.
The dozens.
Yeah. Your mom is so fat she got baptized at SeaWorld. Those were the days. I miss the 90s. So does Trump, because that's when the rap community actually fucked with him besides Lil Wayne.
Yeah, it was Corrupt, Snoop Dogg, it was Tupac, it was...
Can we talk about Tupac being the only one that actually called him out for his shit back in the 90s? And the man's dead now, so we can't even get his take on this. Which fucking sucks, so we can only talk to the fans and the family.
He would have been, look, I told y'all, he was with the bullshit. He don't real dogs like me. You know what I'm saying? West Side. Nah, he wouldn't be that hype. He probably would have been calmed down. Him and Biggie would have been squashed the beef.
When was his birthday again?
He was a Gemini.
Exactly. And what's Trump?
A Taurus.
Mm.
No. He's a Gemini too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Biggie's a Gemini, and Left Eye's a Gemini.
So, if I'm not mistaken, it's Tupac June 14th because I believe Trump's June 4th.
Biggie was May 25th.
Yeah. So all I'm saying here, no, he can't be May 25th because then he wouldn't be a Taurus.
Biggie was a Gemini.
Plain some shit.
So
Biggie was okay, God, I'm gonna get eviscerated for this if an actual hip hop head ever watches this.
Mm-hmm.
But so was Biggie more like Martin Luther King in terms of his women?
Stop.
For that. How many women did Martin Luther King have? How many women did Biggie have?
Let's see. Biggie had his baby mom, then Lil Kim, then
at the same time.
At the same time, and then he met Faith Evans and married her 2 weeks later, while still fucking Kim.
And Charlie Baltimore.
While married to Faith Evans and still fucking Kim.
Mm-hmm. And Martin Luther King had a interracial threesome the night before I Had a Dream speech. The FBI was reporting him in an attempt to discredit him, not knowing society would change so much that right now that gets some cool points, FBI.
I don't want to talk about the other side of the spectrum.
But Malcolm X never smoked, drank, cussed, nothing. Dude didn't cheat on his wife. He had a family that he was raising, and may he rest in peace. Like, both of them loved their wives. Martin Luther King's wife, she said, men just need their outlets, whatever. So I mean, it was a happy marriage according to her.
Guess who else didn't cheat on their wife?
Besides Malcolm X?
That we know of.
LeBron James?
Ice Cube.
The man doesn't age, but he has become out of touch. Money does that to a person, I guess.
That's word to Bill Cosby.
Yo, finding out that Bill Cosby was a revolutionary and watching them talk about,
talk about blackness and militancy and why pride is a necessity for black people.
And then to turn around and going from pride is necessity, and it's like our ancestors were kidnapped. When Bill Cosby said all this shit, right?
He went from that to pull your pants up, stop giving your kids African hard to spell names, and men need to stop wearing braids.
Like, how do you go from sporting an afro as a sign of fucking
to get a haircut, you heathen?
Yo.
We had a haircut. It was called the box. You didn't like that either. The box is African. Locks are African. Braids are African.
I don't know what his generation thought. Once you let it out the box, that's kind of what happened. It's like, you still have to flourish in blackness because that in itself is protest.
Are there any elder black folks that have not compromised themselves over the years or succumbed to the thirst of power and wealth?
Or somehow got listen, they discredited Al Sharpton using his taxes. Like, every single revolutionary they didn't kill, they just sat there and they discredited them in some shape or form.
Don't eviscerate me for saying this, but Louis Farrakhan was the safer Malcolm X for the Nation of Islam, and everybody knew it. I don't foresee Louis Farrakhan in New York mobilizing people with hand gestures, not saying a word. Malcolm X did it. White cops corroborated black witnesses.
Yeah. Get the shit out of them.
Very much so. He put his hand up. Everybody shut the fuck up. He pointed. Everybody turned and moved. In unison. He didn't say a damn thing.
Can we talk about the fact that Farrakhan's like 117 years old and he looks like he's in his 50s?
He looks like he leapt out of the 1980s and he's still here.
Like, in about another 10 years, we're gonna be looking older than Farrakhan. Like, I need to know what the hell he's doing.
He probably found the same fountain of youth that kept Betty White to almost 100. And Betty White.
Rest in peace, Betty White and Bob Barker, who recently died too, both at 99.
Iceberg lettuce, white bread, and bologna.
How is it that my man sat there he went to 99 without going over the dollar? Rest in peace, Bob Barker.
He also had Alzheimer's.
No, heard about that.
That's why he left the show. He was at the beginning stages and he just bowed gracefully out before it took hold of him.
You know, Dianne Feinstein and Mitch McConnell could learn a lot from him.
Bow wow while you still got your health.
Yeah. So right now,
Mitch McConnell is looking halfway towards Rothschild.
Oh, this man keeps glitching out. I don't know what's going on, but we got somebody with dementia running Kentucky. Or not running Kentucky, representing Kentucky. So
at least he's not running his mouth.
Yeah, but
who remembers Master of Disguise? Am I not turtle enough for the Turtle Club? Yeah, Mitch McConnell was the ancient ancestor of the Ninja Turtle brothers.
He's so old, he's probably the original fucking fossil for, sea turtles right now. Have him, go out to the beach and live a few eggs.
He's so old, he used to wait by the beach and wait for the fish to grow legs so he could have food.
My man's is older than Joe Biden, literally.
He's so old, he invented the very same model automobile that was driven by Fred Flintstone.
Yo, him and Fred Flintstone used to cheat off each other's tests back in high school, okay?
He was Fred Flintstone's high school teacher. He's so old, he used to babysit Gaia, the spirit of the earth, from Captain Planet.
I can't stand you, yo. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's becoming elder abuse. So please, Dianne Feinstein's daughter. So Dianne Feinstein's daughter has conservatorship over her right now. Instead of stepping down, this woman isn't allowed to make any decisions for herself now. So her daughter's, in charge of her finances, in charge of everything else. But yeah.
Mitch McConnell's so old he bore witness to the Earth's greatest invention, fire.
Yo, so when God said, "Let there be light," Mitch McConnell flipped the switch. You can't tell me otherwise. Mitch McConnell's so old that
he's so old,
powdered breast milk.
He's so old he got into a drinking contest with Obi-Wan Kenobi and he said, "Yo, young ass can't hang." He's so old he'll outlive a Terminator.
Mitch McConnell is so old right now. Like, why? Okay, this is elder abuse. Just like with Dianne Feinstein, just like with Mitch McConnell. We got senior citizens running the country. And I mean, what's the average age in America again? I don't know, but millennials can't buy fucking houses. Why the fuck is everybody so old in Congress and representing us? Like, we need other people who can't afford shit in office because I'm done with this, yo.
Barack Obama was driving a Chrysler 300C before he got elected president. That was, despite being a Chrysler 300, the 300C was the Hemi upgrade, and that cost a pretty penny. You know how much that car sold for after Obama became president and was no longer allowed to drive on public roads? Over $2 million.
Wow.
For a Chrysler luxury sedan. Because Barack Obama used to drive it in Chicago.
So yeah, I would love to be president just because I would love to be able to drive. Oh, yo, so I guess Trump said that he was sad when he wasn't allowed to drive himself no more. He used to like driving.
Mitch McConnell's so old he circumcised Thanos.
And then Thanos wanted to find the balance and everything.
Yeah, because he wanted his force thing back.
All right, well, guys, it's getting to be about that time. We've got to go sit there and grind some powdered titty milk for Mitch McConnell. You know, he drinks nothing but the finest Cambodian from the South Bronx.
Next week, we're going to talk about Suki Hana's cooking methods and Method Man's recipe for tuna casserole.
Okay.
And all facts that Fox News will say.
Yes. All right. Well, guys, you make sure to have yourselves a good night.
Peace.
Oh, wait. Did you got any gigs that you need to plug first? I'm high, but I was supposed to ask you.
I would have sent a shout out to Hydro and the whole team that put together the Hip Hop Day on Pratt Street. Every single month has been a blast. On behalf of myself, Michelle B, the Backpack, and all the performers, let's keep it going. But I know the cold is going to bring us inside, but we're going to make something happen indoors throughout the rest of the year. We're not going to wait till summer to keep the energy going like we always do in Connecticut. We're going to it's the winter's turn soon.
Basement party soon come. Bye, y'all.
Peace.